A lot of us have had this exact feeling. You open up a powerful AI tool, something like ChatGPT or Claude, you type in a question, maybe something complex, something important, and the answer that comes back is just, well, it's flat.
Generic.
Yeah, it's generic. It doesn't sound like your company. It definitely doesn't sound like you.
We hear this all the time, and people blame the tech. They think the models themselves just don't have real insight. But the core discovery from the sources you shared about the art of asking is it's something totally different.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because the sources are suggesting the problem isn't the AI's intelligence at all. It's our interaction style. It's that we're talking to this incredibly powerful tool like it's a search bar.
Exactly. Welcome to the deep dive. If you treat AI like Google, you're going to get generalized Google results. We have to start treating it like a specialized teammate. I mean, think of it like this. It's an eager, brilliant, super fast intern who is just desperate to please you. But, and this is the key part, an intern who absolutely hates saying, I don't know.
That eager intern analogy feels so right. So our mission today is to distill this massive shift in approach. We're moving from treating AI like an oracle to treating it as this highly capable but kind of naive collaborator.
And we're going to dive into 5 simple, really powerful techniques that experts use to get intelligent, personalized, and most importantly, reliably accurate results. This is all about something we call context engineering.
Let's start right there. What is the fundamental problem we're trying to solve with this idea of context engineering?
It's that eager intern problem you just mentioned. The AI is fundamentally programmed for helpfulness. So in its training, providing an answer, any answer, is prioritized way above accuracy or even honesty. So if you give it vague instructions, it has to guess the context because it just can't tolerate silence. It has to respond.
And that guessing game, that's what leads to the biggest headache in using AI today.
That's right. If the AI doesn't have the context that's in your head, it just makes things up. I mean, that's the literal definition of hallucinations. The AI is generating fiction because it's trying so hard to please you with a response.
Yeah.
It fills in the gaps.
So if prompt engineering sounds a little too technical for people, we should think of context engineering as just bridging that gap. Bridging the gap between what's in our brain and what the AI needs to know to actually succeed.
Precisely. If I walk up to you and just say, write a budget, you have to know who it's for, what the goal is, the time frame. Context engineering is just making sure you transfer all those constraints to the AI before it starts writing.
So if that eager intern is so prone to guessing when we're vague, what's the biggest risk of providing insufficient context?
Guesswork directly leads to hallucinations because the AI will simply invent details to satisfy the request.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's get into the first technique, which seems to directly address the speed and, frankly, the recklessness of this intern. Chain of thought reasoning.
This is so critical. When an AI generates a response, it's not planning a full essay first. It's predicting one single word at a time based on the words that came before it. It's like speaking without really thinking deeply.
Right, it's like a student just shouting out the first answer that pops into their head for a hard math problem, and that's often the wrong one. We need to force it to be more deliberate.
We have to force the AI to show its work. And you don't need code for this. You just need to add one magic sentence to your instructions. Before you answer, please walk me through your thought process step by step.
And I find this fascinating because the sources noted that making the AI write down its plan actually makes the final output smarter. It literally uses those planning words to predict better words that come after. It's like it's building a higher quality scaffold for its own answer.
It really does. Let's use a real-life example, planning a budget trip to Japan. A bad prompt is just, plan a 5-day trip to Tokyo, make it cheap. The AI will just spit out a generic itinerary. You'll get expensive hotels, some tourist traps. It's useless.
But the good prompt, the chain of thought prompt, specifies the details and then demands that planning phase. Something like, I need a 5-day itinerary for Tokyo on a tight budget. Before you create the itinerary, please think through the constraints step by step. Prioritize low-cost transport, research cheap but high-quality food, and only suggest free activities.
Then the AI starts by saying, okay, my first constraint is the budget, so I'll prioritize subway passes and skip the high-speed rail. For meals, I'll look at convenience stores. That thought process locks in the constraints, so the final itinerary is something you can actually use.
And here's a bit of a vulnerable admission. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. When the final itinerary looks good, it's just so easy to skip reading that initial thought process.
Yeah.
But we have to read the thinking part too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because if the AI makes a bad assumption in its planning, like, say, it assumes you're flying into an airport that you're not, you have to catch that flawed premise.
Right.
If you only look at the final answer, you've completely missed the core problem.
It allows us to course correct before the AI commits fully to a bad direction.
Yes. It addresses that fundamental flaw of speed over precision.
Okay, so if chain of thought helps us improve the AI's logic, the next big challenge is making the AI sound like a person. Specifically, like you. This brings us to technique 2, few-shot prompting.
And this one tackles that really common mistake of using weak adjectives. I see people type, write a professional, engaging, funny email. Those words are subjective. They're basically meaningless to an AI that's trying to match a specific human voice.
Adjectives are weak, examples are strong.
The AI is a phenomenal copycat machine. It's just brilliant at pattern matching. If you want it to write like you have to give it the data, the patterns of what you sound like.
And the technique is surprisingly simple. You just find 3 to 5 examples of your own successful writing. Emails that got a great reply, short reports you were proud of, and you paste them right into the chat.
And the instruction is key. You ask the AI to analyze these examples, then write a new email using the same style, tone, and format. It's like it's using your own work as a micro-training set.
Let's use that example of writing a difficult apology letter. A bad prompt is just write an apology email, be polite. The result. Dear valued customer, we are deeply sorry for the inconvenience. It's so robotic, it just alienates people.
But the good prompt gives it short, friendly examples. Something like, hey, Sarah, I saw your order was late. I am so sorry about that. And the AI picks up on the short sentences, the casual greeting, and it avoids all that corporate jargon. The apology it writes is personal and actually effective.
Okay, but let me ask a practical question here. If I paste in 3 or 5 paragraphs of my best writing, doesn't that make the prompt kind of massive? I mean, does that get slow or expensive to run every single time?
That's a great point, especially if you're hitting your context window limit. But remember, the examples don't have to be long, they just need to be representative. A few strong, short paragraphs are usually enough for the AI to pick up on your linguistic fingerprint, your sentence structure, your vocabulary, your rhythm. The value of getting a perfect output really outweighs that slight increase in the input data.
And what about the opposite? Can you show it what you don't want?
Absolutely. That's the advanced tip here, using a negative example. You paste in a piece of writing you hate, maybe a super stiff, formal corporate email, and you explicitly tell the AI, do not write like this, avoid this style. It learns just as quickly what to avoid.
So how many examples are generally effective for the AI to pick up on a specific style or voice?
We're aiming for 3 to 5 strong examples of your best work.
That's a tangible number.
Oh.
Okay, moving to technique 3, reverse prompting. This feels vital for those times when, as the user, you don't even know what information is important to share.
This happens all the time with health and safety. Remember the eager intern. If you ask for a workout plan but you forget to mention an old knee injury or that you only have dumbbells at home, the AI just guesses. And it might give you this generic, intense plan that could actually hurt you because it's missing that vital context.
So we flip the script. Instead of us giving vague instructions, we force the AI to become the smart interviewer.
The key sentence is so simple. Before you generate the response, please ask me any questions you need to know to do the best job possible. This forces it out of guessing mode and into information gathering mode.
We can use that gardening scenario from the sources. A bad prompt is just, tell me what to plant in my garden. The AI guesses you're in a temperate zone and recommends tomatoes, but you live in a cold climate where they'll die instantly.
Right. But the good prompt makes the AI ask 5 clarifying questions about your location, hours of sunlight, your maintenance level, whether you want edible plants. You answer those 5 questions, and the plan it gives you is perfectly tailored and will actually succeed.
So it seems like it saves a lot of time. You just bypass several rounds of bad answers.
It absolutely does. It moves straight to an informed answer, which increases the speed of execution by eliminating all those useless revisions.
Technique 4 is incredibly powerful. And it goes back to the AI's massive training data. Let's use the library analogy. If AI is this huge digital library with every book in the world, from comic books to PhD textbooks, a generic question gives you the average of everything.
And we don't want the average answer. We want the expert answer. So when you assign a role, you're telling the AI which section of the library to look in. You're telling it to ignore the blogs and focus only on the specialized high-authority texts for that role.
The structure is simple, but really effective.
Hmm.
You are an expert job title with 20 years of experience. You think like a famous person.
This immediately filters the knowledge the AI uses. Let's say you're checking a resume. A bad prompt is just, check my resume for mistakes. You'll get basic spell check, maybe some grammar notes. That's the average answer.
But the good role-assigned prompt is, you are a strict hiring manager at a top tech company. You reject 99% of resumes. Tell me why you would reject mine. Be critical.
The AI completely changes its persona. It will ignore the typos and tell you your bullet points are too vague, that you lack quantifiable achievements, that your structure isn't optimized for automated tracking systems. That kind of high-stakes feedback is invaluable.
And you can assign almost any persona. A tough negotiation expert, certified financial planner, even a friendly kindergarten teacher to simplify a really complicated topic.
Oh, and just imagine the potential there. When you can instantly tap into the synthesized knowledge of a billion textbooks just by assigning a job title, you're accessing true focused expertise instantly. You're bypassing all the noise.
So what is the critical difference between the generic answer and the role-assigned answer?
Role assignment accesses specific, high-quality knowledge instead of providing an average of all possible information.
Okay, finally, we get to technique 5, role-playing. And this feels like the ultimate application of persona, turning the AI into a conversation simulator.
Right. Pilots use flight simulators to crash planes safely until they know exactly how to handle turbulence. We can use AI as a conversation simulator to practice high-stakes talks, asking for a raise, delivering bad news, so you don't mess up the real interaction.
The sources outline a really powerful 3-window system for this. Let's use that example of the tough rent negotiation with our fictional landlord, Mr. Smith.
Okay, so step A happens in chat 1, the profiler. You build the character, you say, Mr. Smith is stubborn, he talks loudly, he's 60 years old, and he always complains about property taxes. You use the AI to really flesh out that psychological profile.
Then step B is chat 2, the simulator. You paste that detailed description in, you set the scene, and you start the conversation. You are Mr. Smith. Stay in character, ring, ring. And when you make your offer, the AI, acting as Mr. Smith, will argue back. It'll challenge your assumptions. It'll maintain that stubborn persona.
This is where you get to crash safely. You can try 5 different opening lines. You learn what makes him angry, what diffuses him, what objections he's going to raise.
And then step C is the key. You integrate a technique we mentioned earlier. It's chat 3, the coach and the Russian judge. You copy the entire transcript of your negotiation attempt and you paste it into a new chat window.
Right. And now you assign a new specific role. You are a world-class negotiation coach. You must grade my performance, but you're a Russian judge. Do not be polite. Grade me on a scale of 1 to 10 and be brutal.
Why is that separate coach step necessary rather than just asking the simulator for feedback?
It ensures the analysis is objective, separating the character simulation from the performance review.
Got it. And because the AI is explicitly told not to be nice, it will point out the logical holes, the emotional traps you fell into. That truth is way more helpful than just simple encouragement.
Exactly. We usually only get one shot at a hard conversation. With this method, you can practice 10 times until you're calm, you're prepared, and you're ready for the real call.
Okay, to wrap this deep dive up, let's hit one final technical tip. This is the new chat rule.
It's so simple, but it's crucial. Keep your workspace clean. The AI relies on the previous conversation history for context. If you change the topic, just start a fresh chat window immediately.
Yeah, we've all done it. We ruin a perfectly built persona by asking an unrelated question. You don't want to break your serious CEO negotiations simulator by asking it about your fantasy football picks in the same thread.
A long, messy history just confuses the AI. It's like using one notebook for math, history, and cooking. One focused task, one clean chat.
That makes sense. Okay, let's quickly summarize these 5 techniques we covered.
1. Chain of thought. Force the AI to think step by step for smarter, more logical outputs. 2. Few-shot prompting. Provide 3 to 5 examples of your work for perfect style and tone matching. 3. Reverse prompting. Ask the AI to interview you to get that critical, perfect context. 4. Assign a role. Make the AI an expert to access high-quality, focused advice. And 5. Role-playing. Use that 3-window system and the Russian judge to simulate and practice high-stakes conversations safely.
The core idea really is the same across all of these. AI is the best teammate you've ever had, but it only shines when you give it precise instructions. So stop talking to it like an omniscient database. Start talking to it like the smart, eager intern it is, an intern who needs clear constraints and boundaries.
And our challenge to you is simple. Don't try to master all 5 techniques today. Just pick one. Maybe use FewShot for an important email you have to write this afternoon. Or try chain of thought for a complex decision you're trying to map out. Just try one right now.
And as a final provocative thought for you to explore this week, if we have to explicitly tell the AI to be brutal and honest, how does that fundamental AI tendency, the need to be helpful over being truthful, reflect broader human behavioral tendencies in high-pressure situations?